Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. Last time we played in a scenario called the Evolved Bacteria and it was actually quite good. And then I happened to notice on the Steam Workshop that the developer here, Sky Perinha, actually released another one very recently called the Evolved Bioweapon. So I'm like, alright, last one was great, let's give it a shot. An improved version of the bioweapon. Can you handle it before it kills all hosts or gets shut down by humanity? This pathogen was genetically modified to be highly lethal and effective. Blah, 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 blah. So I imagine it's going to be sort of similar to evolved bacteria in that it will have the same basic premise as the bioweapon. However, it's going to play out from a very different angle, which is great. That said, that ain't the bioweapon. That is a virus. It's not the same thing. Okay. Already up to a great start there. ATP boost Darwinist, oxide Shumafel, and symptostasis. KTR-7-A. These represent something. You know that there is an actual bioweapon plague, right? You can just use that. Okay. Pathogen genetically engineered to quickly kill its victims with a possessive for no good reason in defined area. It was modified to be highly lethal, specific in infection, but not spread well to other humans, as well as not live for a long time outside of the host's body with no possessive apostrophe. Ironic. The pathogen was manipulated and already caused lethal symptoms. This modification process had to be reversed in order to kill all humanity. Okay. Well, we'll start in our standard boring Saudi Arabia. Then escape from the research lab. All right, transmissions. What are we starting off with? Well, we have transmission barrier breach. Artificially implemented gene sequence prohibiting pathogen from developing properties aided transmission is getting cut off, allowing host-to-host infections. Okay, we'll start with that then. So that leads to excorporeal barrier breach. Artificially implemented genes enduring outside a host's body are being eliminated, so we can now actually be outside of the body for a while and have ships and planes. Zoonotic barrier breach, I'm guessing for animals. And human fluidum barrier breach. By body liquids gets deleted, allowing us to host infection because we typically pee on each other. That's just how it works. All right, segmented genome mutation chance. Got it. Wow, that's a lot of symptoms we're starting with there. Okay, immune breakdown. Pathogen specifically targets the immune cells, leading to a faster appearance of other symptoms and secondary infections, increasing lethality over time. Immune suppression, fever, hypersensitivity, and then pulmonary hemorrhage, hemoptysis, pulmonary fibrosis, pneumonia, and then coughing. So these are increasingly getting severe. So we could actually spend some DNA to kind of devolve this, it looks like. They are pretty expensive, but at least it reduces lethality down to something a bit more on the manageable side. It just costs me a lot. Then for abilities, we have our standard cold, heat, and drug resistance. Lungs can be infected, immune system can be infected, tissue, brain, blood, and gastrointestinal tract. So this looks familiar. So it is actually about, like, specifically targeting parts of the human body, just like the evolved bacteria did last episode, which is interesting. So, okay. I kind of feel like we need to be devolving more of this stuff to ensure that we don't, you know, draw undue attention. I'm going to get rid of the immune suppression. I don't know if how far back I want to go, though, because it's delaying my ability to spread because, you know, I can't really do anything while I'm constantly trying to devolve the dang things. Well, at least get rid of the hemoptysis. Look, they're colored red. That means they're super bad. Red means dead. So get rid of those. We'll leave the oranges, though. Orange, I wish I could rhyme with something to sound clever, but orange literally rhymes with nothing. All right, let's go for the human fluidum barrier breach, allowing people to exchange bodily fluids, gross. Fomites, good for the urban and wealthy environments. Blood for the poor regions, and saliva for pretty much anything else. Okay, there's immune suppression, so this is how it's gonna be, huh? Constantly fighting against the stinking symptoms, trying to come back, and by the way, they get more expensive over time. Stop it! I'm gonna regret having the Darwinist and a virus, that's for freaking sure. Well, that's at least an obvious fix. If I lose a scenario and have to restart, no problem. I can just go back and get creationism, and that solves the problem because nothing evolves. Nothing evolves under creationism, did you know? That's how it works. All right, transmissions, we want to go for... I want to go for fomites? I think I want to go for the fomites. I mean, saliva's okay, and 1 point cheaper, but it's not as much infectivity, and this at least has the advantage in the urban and wealthy regions. Not that I'm in those right now, but still. That said, we also want to go for the excorporeal barrier breach, so that I'm able to get out of Saudi Arabia via plane or boat, because as far as I'm aware, we're literally not allowed to do that and have to rely exclusively on the land transmission, which is not as desirable. So maybe I'll wait for 2 more points. There it is. Grab that, and now we'll be able to start using the planes. Yeah, I just saw a pop-up there saying it's now allowed to use planes, so it's almost as if they have the air and the water filters, and we just overcame that, which is great. They have detected me, alas, which is to be expected given the fact that we have such high lethality. Now, I will give the author credit here, despite the fact that it is clearly not the bioweapon that I was initially promised. The author has done a pretty good job of, like, having ramped up lethality to the point where it feels a little bit like the bioweapon, kind of against the clock. You remember that. Let's go ahead and grab the air transmission, make sure we get on the rest of these planes. There's not a lot left to get out of Saudi Arabia, but even so, some air transmission would not go amiss right about now. Dust. Pathogen further improves ability to survive long periods on dust particles and blah, blah, blah. Well, we're going to go for the fomites anyway, because we are in Europe, and I could really use some assistance down there. Let's go for some cold resistance, since I want to spread a little bit faster in some of the cold countries like Russia, which we just got into, as well as the Canada. So I'm wondering if this scenario has been rebalanced a little bit so that nations infect a little bit easier? Because if not, this actually is going to be pretty challenging as far as scenarios are concerned. Let's grab the rash. Abscesses are pretty good. I'm going for a lot of infectivity. Skin lesions, you know, if that leads to necrosis, that does mean that lethality is not going to mess me up quite as much as it would have before. However, it does still make it very difficult to get into places like, I don't know, Greenland. So I'm still concerned about that. Let's grab the water transmission to ensure that we're able to get to these islands a little bit sooner. Not going to make an absolute massive difference, but it's something. We should honestly have a little more severity than we currently do. Do I care about the zoonotic? Not really. Mist. Effectiveness. Countries. Effectiveness. More fomites, however, could be pretty good in some of these wealthy countries. No link to the laboratory data. These are unique pop-ups. I guess I should read these to do the author my due diligence, yeah? Man, I'm so lazy. A comparison of the engineered pathogens from the lab with the spreading and threatening pathogen has not led to a clear result which pathogen was released. Only a slight cure progress shall be achieved. Freaking immune suppression. All right, fine. Enjoy that. Now, I seem to remember, does immune suppression increase the odds of mutation chance? I don't remember if that is correct or no. Maybe? Let's go for the water, and then what else do I need? I could really use drug resistance, but we may need to go for the skin lesions for the raw infectivity and some severity to get extra DNA. That does lead to systemic infection as well as the necrosis. Hallelujah! Necrosis that works. Okay, well, I could use that, but I mostly need to make sure we get into, I don't know, Greenland as soon as possible. So we're going to pick up some resistances as far as cold and drugs. Let's grab the gastrointestinal tract. That leads to... What? I don't know what that does. I don't know what it means, but I'm very confused and bewildered. We'll go for vomiting and diarrhea. Sure, why not? More infectivity and severity. I'm sure that's not going to be an issue. UK is attempting to lead the global cure progress, not the NHS. No! How could I ever contend? Hey, we got into Greenland. Okay, so I actually feel completely comfortable now going for the necrosis, which we actually got for free just now, which is awesome. Total organ failure, don't necessarily want to ramp up the lethality that much right now. I think we want more infectivity. So we're going to go for blood. That leads to anemia and to hemophilia. Let's go for the brain, and I imagine that's going to lead to headache and, yes, insomnia. Perfect. Memory loss, slow down the cure. Inflammation, seizures, blah, 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 blah. Mutation chance is actually my friend now. And... I'm sorry. I don't know how else I'm supposed to react to that. I really don't. Hey, Angle, is this one of those memeable moments you were talking about before when you said that I'm not marketing myself well on the channel? Which he's not wrong about, by the way. He's completely right. Anyway, no, I'm just saying, like that, I don't know how to make that into a t-shirt, but you can find a way. That'd be great. Do we care about things like extreme bioaerosol at this point? I mean, what countries are we missing? Sweden and Morocco. Okay. Well, yes, I do care about extreme bioaerosol as well as zoonotic barrier and maybe also some birds. Giant board. use that to infect Sweden and Morocco. Because they've probably closed down their borders. There's the Sweden. How are we doing in terms of cure progress? A lot of it's been destroyed. Still not having... Oh, we did get into Morocco. There it is. Just as I clicked on it. I should try that more often. All right. So raw death is what we're looking for. Total organ failure should be fine. Gastric ulceration, dysentery, very effective. Also seizures and maybe hydrocephalus, I think is what that was. Why do I know these things? Some of these words, like I have a hard time pronouncing some medical terminology, but then some of these I'm like, oh yeah, that's hydrocephalus. You know what? I think it's because I not grew up, but I watched House MD a lot. Like, that was my jam in high school. I freaking loved House MD. I mean, he was a cynical jerk, but it was extremely entertaining. Meningitis, let's go for the coma, and also paralysis, and then also genetic hardening, and then we can go for the genetic shuffle if we want to. But that resets the cure progress significantly, which means I'm going to get a lot more score as a result. So that's good. And then, yeah, everyone's dead. That was pretty quick. Very quick scenario, actually. Yeah, you know, again, I'm rather impressed in the sense that, one, it's a well put together scenario, right? Like, it's got a good theme to it. It actually has a great amount of customization, and they're all pretty well balanced and play into each other in an intuitive way. Like, kudos on that sense. Now, again, I look at this and I'm like, you could have used the actual bioweapon. Why not take advantage of that? And yet, I think that the author did a pretty good job of taking a virus scenario and mimicking some of the play style of the bioweapon fairly well, rather than try to, I don't know, let's say, use the mechanics where you pick up an ability that resets the lethality ramp up. Instead, you spend some initial points ramping down the existing lethality. It's pretty clever in that sense. So yeah, I actually think this is solid. 519 days, 63% cure progress, 43,214 points, 2 stars, KTR-7-A. I like to know if these mean something. But that was good. Yeah, again, like, legit. I think we found a pretty solid author here. I'm impressed. That's 2 for 2 there, man. Keep bringing them out and sending them my way, and I'll be thrilled. Let me know. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Hit the notify bell, and I, as always, will see you guys next time.